All right, all right, all right. How y'all doing? Welcome in. It's Tarot Tuesday. We're back. We're back on Instagram. I know, I've been kind of around the sun this summer figuring out how to connect with you guys, and I'm just going to go back to shooting videos on Instagram because it just feels better like this. I'm on my phone. It's more intimate, so I hope this message resonates with you guys this week. Obviously now you can watch it whenever you get to it. The 10 a.m. live thing was great, and I will go back to that as soon as my subscribers go up, but not everyone can be online at 10 a.m., on Tuesday. So we're just going to do like this. Okay, more walking away. Bye-bye. You guys have been full release this summer, the 8th month. Let's see, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, August was a big, final push, okay? So you guys just basically went the equivalent of giving birth, but you're giving birth to your emotional satisfaction. So this is a big deal. This has been going on for a while. So I love this. I love this for you. You're just moving on. Amen. Move on. Seek the next cup, like the cup of love. This is really beautiful. Yeah. Oh my God, there she is again. Remember last week? All wrapped up. I mean, yeah, I get it. Fuck, it's just been nonstop, man. Wow, big cycles coming to an end. Big, okay? So I just went cross-eyed there for a minute because I feel it too. So you're not alone, okay? There's a lot of people who are leaving situations. Any of you guys who are leaving a job, leaving a marriage, leaving anything, just freaking go, man. Just go. It's fine. It's time. Don't overthink it. Please don't overthink it, y'all. It's just about... That's why we do this work here, feeling into things, instead of thinking about things. Feel it, feel it first. This is a whole new way of being. It's a whole new thing. What you guys are changing is it's a lifestyle. It's a big chapter. It's not just I'm not going to, I'm checking this off my list. This is a lot, so I always love it. The moon is here in the 8 of Cups because it just reminds you to trust your intuition. Really, it's time. You'll know how to leave emotional situations because you'll be pulled. That's what we talk about, being called. It's like a longing, and it's a longing for something that it's almost like you thought this would fill you up, but it didn't. This is a really big thing in relationships. I think a lot of people get into relationships and couples and marriage and all that thinking it's going to be the thing that makes them happy. It's going to fill you up. And it isn't. It's not your job. It's not your husband or wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, or it's not that. It's something deeper, right? It's a deeper experience that you're craving because there's water all around. Or you're leaving someone who's just really emotionally not up to snuff, is how they're saying. They're not up to snuff. All right, well, okay then, okay, I get it. For any of you guys who feel like you're being left, if you feel like someone's leaving your life, okay, now I'm on the flip side now because you're taking it, you can take it as being, it has something to do with you. So any of you guys, myself included, who have rejection issues and things of that nature, and people leave or they don't call you back or they don't respond or they don't show up or they end the relationship or whatever, that can be very jarring for someone on the receiving end of that. It just feels so our ego wants to jump in and kind of, make them the bad guy, right? And I think we're also learning, because as we live, we go both through abandoning people and rejecting people as well as being abandoned and rejected, right? It's a dualistic experience here. So you're going to kind of go through all of it. And this is really what builds compassion though. If you think about it, once you go through something and you know what it feels like to be cheated on or betrayed, fuck, man, you don't, that's why I'm always the power of direct experience. Start there. What have you been through? What have you lived through? What have you been guided to do, based on what you know to be true for you? We always try to swim in everybody else's stuff. And why do we do that? What have you been through? What do you have to say? What's your kind of experience? Because this is a lot. 8 of Cups, many of you guys, you invested a lot into something. And I think that's kind of part of the sadness, or any lingering sadness, is like the investment that you made, into the business, the marriage, the family, the lifestyle, all of it. Some of you guys just like really fed into the whole thing, and and genuinely so, and with goodwill. Like, there's no bad thing going on here. There's no one to blame. There's no one's at fault. And I think if you can come to a place where it's just about your own emotional satisfaction. That's all. It has nothing to do with the other party or the business or anything. It's about you and being strong enough to recognize that and do something about it. Most people just hang out in the Eight of Cups. Like, they don't make the effort to leave. They don't. They just sit there, and that's going to cycle over and over. And that's actually what keeps you stuck in that Eight of Swords, right? It's kind of like this constant churning of drama, drama. And, just to reiterate, and then we're going to move on, because there's no need to talk about it and do it anymore. Like, be done and move on. And let it go. You got to let it go, okay? Because you're just dragging all that shit back with you. So if you're like, well, I left my butt, I left, I did it. No, you didn't. Not energetically. There's still more that you have to allow yourself to put away, and this is the internal part, right? This is the stuff on the inside that we're dealing with, the energy of it, okay? So you could be out of a situation, but it's still, their voice is still in your head. There's still problems. They're still tuned to chaos and conflict and drama. That's okay. You're separating from that. Give yourself a chance, okay? Give yourself a chance. For those of you who are brave enough to leave all that, then you will be rewarded. Just keep going, and just enjoy the journey. I love the Eight of Cups, because he's just like, he's in for, like, who knows what's around the corner? We don't know, he's willing to take the risk. And I think it just feels good for him anyways. You know what I'm saying? I am picking up a masculine energy. So any of you men who are watching, it's okay. You might have kids, you might family, all these things. I understand, but it's really, he's wearing red, which is like your passion. It's like you have to keep that going. That fire inside of you needs to stay lit, and sometimes, this happens a lot with creative people, or not a lot with creative people necessarily, but I'm thinking of a situation where if you're someone who's creative and has a lot of ideas, or has a lot of, if you're a fire sign like me, and you're like, you've got all these things that you want to do, and people just tend to kind of throw like a wet blanket on it. That's not your person. Okay. So be mindful of energies like that, like where you end up not sharing that much with yourself because the people around you tend to throw water on your plans, or, I think that's part of working through all that. I think a lot of that comes from our programming and just, carrying on energy of like when you were a kid and you like, I remember coming home with like a piece of artwork I did, and that it's supposed to go on the refrigerator, right? And like you're supposed to be proud of it. And I think it got put in the trash. You know what I mean? Like little things like that, like from childhood where you're like, oh, okay, I'm not good, I'm not special. Healing all that has been basically what you've been up to. And I think a lot of times we build a life based on those unmet needs. Yeah, ding, ding, ding. I mean, shit. That really hits home, because you create a life. I mean, at some point, I'm in my 50s, so I've been around, right? For those of you who are younger, you'll know what I'm talking about if you don't know already. You built this whole thing based on unmet needs, meaning like I need to make a lot of money, or I need to have a partner, or I have to look really great all the time in my image, and all these things like that you built, like thinking it was like the opposite of what you were given. And I think there's this wake-up call happening where you're realizing, wait a second, yes, I have all these things. I might have the great job. I might look great. I might have the kids and the house and the husband and the dogs and all the stuff, right? But you're still not happy. You're okay. And you're feeling bad. I get like this sometimes. I look at like where I live and it's like stunning, but I'm not happy. I'm not. I'm the first to tell you guys. So I'm like, come with me. Like I'm walking away from, not walking away from anything that truly matters to me. But once you understand what truly matters to me, you can't ever leave it anyways. Like the love of your child, or, you know, the bonds of family, or your love of nature, or a friendship, or, you know, all of the things, right? An idea, like just movement, you know, grace, spirituality, all of these things, like that never leaves you. That's what you take with you. It's just all the other stuff, you know, that you don't need. Yeah, look at that. 9 of Pentacles. That's right. Stepping into your own power. This is exactly what I'm talking about, because the 8 of Cups is the life you created based on your unmet needs. And now you broke through and you realize that you are the creator of your happiness. You are the one. You are the Empress. This is pre-Empress. And this is where, you know, you create your own life based on who and what you truly are, your magnificence, not on your weaknesses, not on your unmet needs, but on your own efforts that you've put towards learning the lessons and healing and just being alive, you know, and staying true to yourself. This is magic, y'all. I love this card in the deck because she's the falconess, you know, that's a falcon on her wrist. And, you know, back in the day, in the times of tarot, the falconess was like, she was a badass, you know, and she built a fortune around having the falcon. So if you needed a falcon for whatever reason, you went to her, and she was the one that you went to. So for her, people don't need falcons every day, but when they do, they come to you. So this is a really good message of really becoming really, really good at what you do, at your craft, being like a specialist in that. And yeah, maybe people don't come to you every day crying in their sleep or whatever, you know, but when they come to you, you're the one they go to. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like someone who's like a specialist in, like a heart surgeon, or, you know, like the best of the best. Like you got it. Okay. So you've got that thing. And now you're letting that be yourself. You're allowing yourself to be like, I'm a falconess. I'm not like a little, I don't make starlings, you know, that end up invading everything. You know, I have a falcon. It's reminding me of that show Sirens. Oh my God, I need to rewatch that because it was really fucking good. Julia, I mean, come on, that was really brilliant writing. Hey, like they got, oh man, that was so smart. And so true. Like, this is the thing, right? And I'm getting sidetracked by that story, but it's just a reminder to like keep building your own net worth, you know, like your own thing is where it is. And you're so much happier and more fulfilled when you're doing your thing your way, you know? So great. So any of you guys who are kind of going off on your own, starting your own business, elevating your business, making like a big new shift and like, this is really what I do, and getting clear on that, that's looking good. You're like, no more drama. You're like done. Like you see in these 2 cards, she's looking like, this is the 5 of Wands, which is all about drama. This is also internal conflict. So you could be struggling with some conflict around what you're trying to do. Yeah, it's okay. Just recognize the internal conflict. Just be like, I'm a little conflicted about this, and sit with it and let that breathe, you know, just allow spirit to take that away. Like take away these burdens, take away this conflict, just to be self-aware. That's the beauty of being self-aware, is you recognize I'm a little conflicted about this. This doesn't sit right within me, you know, and that's just a 5 as a temporary. It's temporary. So the way to get over internal conflict is to recognize that you're conflicted, you know? Be like, oh yeah, okay, well, I can sort that out. That's, you know, it's a 5, it's changing anyways. So that's when you just let it go, and you just don't try to add more conflict to the conflict, right? And step into, you know, a higher thing. But she's looking away from this. So you're really done. You're done with people who are just kind of habitually, you know, just, I don't know. There's just something for those of you guys, you know, specifically, a little more specifically, you're definitely leaving a situation that had too much conflict and too much drama. Ugh. I mean, it was just kind of like, I think a lot of people are going to be jumping ship, quite frankly. So for any of you guys who are kind of in a situation, like a corporate situation, I would get out and start your own thing, you know, because it kind of feels like once one person goes, I kind of feel like this happening, it's like one person goes and then everybody goes, so you might want to be the first person. It's like Mutiny on the Bounty. Jeez, man. This is great though. It's good to rise up. It's good to be yourself. It's good to own your gifts. I mean, this is a pretty incredible person who's a falconess. That's a lot of power. Okay, so you're kind of owning your power, and money is available when you do. Like, that's the cool thing. You just grow it. Anything that you guys can grow financially, investments, just anything like passive income, things that generate revenue without you really having to do that. You're generating revenue. It's like the model is like to generate revenue behind the scenes, like selling things online or I don't know, something that is kind of generative and can kind of run itself. And then you're out there doing like a thing, and you're bringing people into that experience. So it's a really good time for those of you who have your own business to look at like going out and speaking or doing a thing or presenting or putting your thing out there. And then that leads to something that feels like, okay, I don't know. It's specific for everyone, but the most important thing is like you leading with you and you being like not unafraid to be out in public and be in front of people. I mean, she goes back, she's totally fine. She's at home. She loves being at home and she's cool with that. She doesn't care. She's gotten over a lot of her insecurities. So she's like, yeah, I'll show up. I don't care. Like she's just a very cool person who is not, she's that girl that like, I love girls like that they, when they go out at night, like they just throw something on and it looks good. You know what I mean? Like they don't sit there and fuss. She's not a fussy person. She's like the anti-Karen, she loves good things, but she just knows what works for her. And she just kind of throws something on and it looks great. And being in that kind of natural state of self-acceptance, and it's like self-ownership is what I'm hearing. Self-ownership, you're owning yourself. Great time for anyone to incorporate, to start your own business, to get that going, get that structure started, get that thing developed. Okay, this is going to be really great. And you can do it from your own home is even what I'm saying. Like maybe you guys are shooting videos or you're doing something. There's also a big garden behind her. So any of you guys who are kind of in the natural world or you're developing a nature-based business, shoot videos out in the garden, be outside in nature. That feels really good. Your setting is really important. I'm getting a lot of energy around wineries, vineyards, things of that nature feel really, really good because I'm getting all these like grapes behind you. Wow, beautiful. A lot of nature though, tons of nature. She's like, I love that she's like all dressed up and she's like outside in nature. Like that is cool. That's so cool. And I love that as a concept to do a really like fabulous formal experience like outside, like in the woods or like somewhere. It reminds me of that film, such a great film. It's called A Little Chaos. For those of you who have never seen it, it's so good, and it's Kate Winslet. It's kind of a sleeper film, like, but she's a landscape designer back in like the time of Louis the 15th or 14th, whichever one, and she's hired by him to create an outdoor ballroom. Yeah, like a ball, like a dance floor, basically, outside. And it's the story of how she does it because she's like the first woman to ever even get that kind of, opportunity. So, and it's a love story and it's just great. I highly recommend it. It's called A Little Chaos. And I think that will be inspiring for some of you guys. So especially if anyone's involved in that, landscaping, nature, flowers, birds, like, I don't know, like all of it. It's very feminine because I can't get my eyes off of this card. So there is something about your energy. It's like people can't take their eyes off of you or, and this is the sign of Venus that's all over her cloak there. That's the sign of Venus. So it's very feminine energy. It's like just, I don't know. It's pre-Empress, right? So it's great. I love seeing this for you guys because I know what you've been through. So it's going to be, people understand that, it's good for them to know, not necessarily know what you've been through, but You wouldn't be who you are today if you had not been through the things that you had been through and had the courage to walk away from things that were not emotionally satisfying. It could be a career path. It could be, all kinds of things, but you're just better off on your own right now. Okay. I mean, really, it's wonderful. I love this for you guys. It makes me really proud of you, as I don't mean that in a condescending way, but know that you're encouraged to continue to do what you're doing. It's something that you've kind of always done. Like, you're kind of just a natural at this. So don't overthink it. That's what got you into the mess in the first place, is trying to think about it all. I should do this. I should do it. No. That ain't going to work. That ain't going to work over here. You just have to be you, in all your glory. And like, it's inspiring to people. Like, yeah, this is great. I'm getting a lot of people, even who have come out of the closet, people who've transitioned gender. Like, it's kind of got a theatrical vibe to it as well. Like, be that, I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like, the drama is actually, like, I don't know, you could use that. Use that, all that craziness that you went through. Use that drama to make it, like, it's about you. It wasn't about you before. Now it's about you. So I like this. You can use that as fuel. Use it as, your fire. Like, you could make money off of it. You know what I mean? Like, not in a cheesy way, but in like, I've earned it way. Like, people might just want to give you resources and help you build. Think about resources, not just like a freaking paycheck. Okay. That's part of the problem. You got to look at it like resources. What are your resources? Your resources are your time, also your value, your energy, period. Your energy, really. I mean, I just think that's it. It's your energy. So for those of you who are sitting there going, I'm too broke, I don't have anybody. Your energy is your most valuable resource. You are your most valuable resource. Okay. Ask yourself, what do people come to me for? What do I naturally do that people come to me for? I like that. It's a good way. These prompts might be good for you. And I'm happy to dive further into this with you guys privately. If anyone wants to book, I do coaching. I do all kinds of things, that whatever the client needs at the time, because sometimes, like, we can do a 6-week thing and we can really create this, for you guys. And it takes more than just, 15 minutes on Instagram or even a session. But anyway, for those of you who this is resonating with and you're interested in developing that, please let me know. Okay. I'm going to shift gears a little bit so I can kind of get around to other people. But this is a fantastic message to start out with, just your own independence and following that and cutting loose of anything that feels emotionally unsatisfied or overly dramatic or conflicting in any way. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's see. I am going to use the Mystical Moments, my second favorite deck. This deck, by the way, is the deck that I give my students. And just a little announcement, I've been kind of slowly sharing it, but my tarot training course is coming back in January. It will be at the Portal in Mill Valley. So this is a really, really awesome deep dive. It's 3 weekends. And this is the deck I give you guys, and we go into all of it, and I teach you how to read the cards. I teach you all about your intuition. It's more about harnessing your intuition and how we use the cards to help guide us throughout that process. So it is a really, really wonderful, it's a small group, it's intimate, it's wonderful. I highly recommend, if any of you guys want to kind of learn, work with me, meet some really fabulous people in a really cool setting. I'm going to send an email out probably this week with a link to book, but there's early bird pricing right now. So it's January. It's the first 3 weekends in January. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I'm like getting so excited to teach this again. It's a lot. It's a lot of energy from me, but it's such a cool course that I wrote. And anyways, it just makes me happy. So I wanted to share that with you guys. So you can just go on my website too, frontiertarot.com. So I have a booking link on my website as well. So in case you don't want to wait for the email, frontiertarot.com, you can book sessions there. You can book the tarot training. And yeah, the Fool, there you go. Ding, ding, ding. off to a new start, y'all. There's nothing better. There's nothing better than the freedom that comes with a new beginning. Okay, like this feels so magical, and after so much, like, oh, they're saying groveling. Oh man, I feel that groveling. Not even necessarily like in the external, but that kind of groveling like inside of you, where it's been like, please, like where you're like kind of like, oh God, help me, like a lot of just this under the surface kind of stuff, with that alligator or that crocodile under there. You guys have kind of mastered. Look how she's walking away. It's the first steps away from like the monster that is within. Woo, this is a big one. You guys are really walking away from your inner critic. You're on a new path, you're just sort of like a lot of recycling energy I'm getting. So a lot of you guys might be just going through it right now again, because you're kind of you're kind of wrangling with that beast one more time before you tie it off. So it's okay. It's okay to kind of go through another round of things if you have to, whatever it is. But trust me, it's leading to a really, really good place. So much more abundance and so much more freedom. So I love that for you. And focus on the money, focus on getting what you need. If anyone's going through a divorce, make sure you're compensated, or leaving a job, like get the money that you deserve. That I would really recommend that. A lot of people go through, and I've never thankfully been through a divorce or had a big, issue like that in terms of work. But, I do feel like sometimes just to get through it, we end up kind of taking less than we deserve, and just try not to do that. You know what I mean? Like get the money, like seriously. I'm not because it's superficial or selfish. It's because you fucking earned it. Okay. And I want you to take those earnings and put it into yourself. And the more you have to start with, the sooner you can just be open, and get it and have it. Okay. So yeah, I understand that's been very emotionally challenging, and I understand that's probably a little scary. I know I have a lot of clients that go through challenging divorces, and I help them. I try to help them as much as I can, but I feel like I'm there for them. So I understand how big it can seem, but I really just kind of want you to take the next step. That's all that's available anyways. It's just the next step. So it's like Dorothy getting on the yellow brick road, right? Consider it just one step at a time. And, it's a beautiful garden of energy around you with all these flowers and whatnot. You know what I mean? So consider your female friends, feminine support, like just the love of nature, your angels, your guides, all that's pure and good and lovely in the world. And just focus on that. Focus on, this is a very, they're saying a hardworking woman. So many of you guys have been working really hard up until now, and you're finally able to leave. And that feels really great, especially springtime, they're saying also, with any of you guys who are planning on leaving a job, a business, or anything in the spring feels really good. So maybe now you just kind of take those next step towards that kind of opportunity to be really like moved out, or, so in Europe, they're saying, they're like, she's off. Like, you guys are not going to look back. Okay. When you do this, and if you need help, let me know. I'll help you with this, because this is a big, big change. But I can genuinely feel for you that you will be so happy when you do this thing. And it's the right time. You couldn't have done it any sooner. It's beautiful and lovely and wonderful and comforting and interesting. It's not boring where you're going, and I just want you to trust that intuitive pull. So wherever you're feeling pulled to, whatever you're feeling called to, this is the beauty of having your intuitive abilities kind of dialed in, which is what she's learned. And this is what my training is about too, is helping you practically apply your intuition. We just happen to use tarot cards, but it's about relying on that. It's about feeling into that, and it's about building your life based on that and not some bullshit that you were taught. You know what I'm saying? So it's a journey, man. It really is. But you guys are up for it. The fool is saying you can do this. And, I would encourage you to, keep the coin, but you don't need a lot of stuff. I mean, the fool travels light. So a good thing for you to do is okay, maybe get more money, but less stuff. Like, even if it's like furniture or things that you just I would try to travel light. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. I would just sell the house, they're saying, and get like the money and plant it somewhere else. Okay. Wow. That feels very specific. So feel, this isn't for everyone, but if it resonates, then this is your message. So I also, to try to kind of learn from, other people's journeys. I try to look at situations like this as how it can apply to all of us. Cause we're all, even though someone may be going through a divorce or someone's going through, I don't know, maybe their kid left and they're feeling a little empty nester thing, or just general life transition. It's good for all of us to kind of understand these building blocks, right? Of how to become your biggest, most badass self. Do you know what I'm saying? And age has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Okay. And I am very much interested in these kinds of conversations around aging and women, and really just tearing down that notion of, I mean, I won't go off on it in this video, but I really think it's important to start talking about those things. And, the Two of Swords, you're like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little there's still something that you guys are struggling with a little bit that feels a little bit I don't know, maybe I shouldn't do that. Try not to doubt yourself or overthink things right now, because the 2 is going to go back into the 8, right? And you're going to get stuck again. So it's really about keeping yourself on a feeling-based, tangible experience, okay? Because your head and your mind is really connected to the ego. And as you move beyond things and you become happier and more fulfilled, your ego is just going to try and, pull you away. So just know that, know that you're going to have moments where you just don't know, or you're overthinking it, or you're not clear. Okay. That's going to be a part of it. But the good news is that if you look at it from where we started with the 8 down to the 2, you've already chopped off 6 of those swords. That's progress, right? I mean, 2 is, in terms of swords, is better than an 8, because it's you're almost back down to zero thoughts. No thinking, only feeling. Okay. God, it's so simple. I'm telling this to myself because I wake up what the fuck is going on? I don't get it. I'm I totally understand this energy. You're just I don't freaking know. I mean, it's this or that, it's up or down, and you're just kind of over it, she's just kind of you could be looking at things, even your own life is it's just I'm bored. I'm not into this anymore. I'm not into this anymore. And some of you guys are just right there, where you're recognizing, I'm not really happy right now. I'm not feeling seen. I'm feeling empty inside. So my head is activated, and it's okay. First of all, this is healing. Look at all that green. This is a healing thing. You're healing this. So things are happening, even when you're confused. Okay. And see the little moon in the back, right? That's your intuition starting to come online. Okay. That's where you just have to do your best to, when the mind activates, clear it. Okay. And get into a feeling state, drop into your body, drop into the body, open the root chakra, go out into nature, go for a walk, move. Okay. Just move and take this bird house off your head. All she needs to do is take this thing off her head, I feel some of you guys, this is just a responsibility, that's just kept you stuck, and maybe there's 2 people in your life. It could be kids. It could be a husband, a partner, whatever. It's there's occupying your thoughts. It's there's 2 other people that are up there, or two other things that are just kind of keeping you like stuck, okay? You're not, that's what you're emotionally unsatisfied with. This is also someone just archetypally who gets stuck because everyone else has got things going on and they're too busy listening to their stuff or thinking about their problems, okay? This is sort of that internal drama that is siphoned down, from other people, like feeding off of you, Ugh. I don't, yeah, that doesn't feel good, but it can be like that. And if you think about it, I get like this sometimes, like certain people, if I'm around them and I go home, I just think about them and their problems. And that's part of it. That's part of the wound though, that's part of the wound is because, excuse me, possibly in childhood or something, you were constantly like fight or flight, or you're constantly assessing someone else's energy or someone else's mood, or it was like always about them and there was nothing you could do. You were kind of trapped, So I understand this very much. And this is common. It's really common, more common than you think. I mean, I've been working with people, doing this full time for over 5 years. And I've seen a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of people. I've done a ton of training and, I see this all the time. So it's okay. This is what's being kind of released right now. This is what's being healed. A lot of green. And look how like the Fool comes from, like, I love how like cards like connect. This is like a big part of what I help with teaching with my decks that I use too is, showing you how to read through like the messages that come from the cards being connected. And I love good decks. So it's fun to share those with everyone in person, when we meet. So overall, get out of your head. Don't think about it. Don't think about other people right now. Like, try not to get too caught up in their opinions. Their opinions, especially, are the ones that get in there. Even if they're subtle, like, do your best to take that birdhouse off your head, that birdhouse of other people's ideas or opinions. Not their ideas, their opinions, their judgments, their kind of mind, some energies can kind of get into your mind and take over a little bit. Like they just move right in, like these birds are like, I'm just going to move right into Julie's head. I'm just going to get right in there. She listens to me all the time. I'm just going to get right in there. Like, occupy her mind, So this is where you have to be like, okay, I've been thinking about this for too long. And like, I have to do that. I have to check myself and be like, why am I worried about their problems? Like, I got to figure my own stuff out, right? So it's kind of, I'm laughing because it's kind of ridiculous when you realize that like other people have been swimming in your own head, and it's really okay. Like once you just get the birdhouse, once you just get that off, then you can get up and move around a little bit, okay? Oh, it is all really kind of sweet. And it's just, I do feel like you guys are healing kind of like a really old childhood wound, that you thought was kind of who you were, or was told that you're like this, or, you just never really, like, didn't really get much attention for the things that you were really good at, but plenty of attention for the things that you didn't. And, you're just working that out. It's okay. It's part of the process, right? Yeah, it's just a lot of hurtful energy. Dang, the 9 of Swords. Yeah, anyone who's been kind of mean or just sharp-tongued or opinionated or throwing daggers, yeah, you're not. That's just, you just got to recognize that. You can't, if you're sitting there, if you're one of those people that just blames someone in your life all the time, or you're just constantly blaming other people, that's going to be something that you have to come to terms with. And, I think at a certain point, as hard as it is, we have to stop the blame game and get right with our own energy and recognize that it's your life and you can decide who you're going to like invite into your world. And I know some situations are more difficult than others, but you're allowing this to happen. Remember that. Even people who are like, and I totally get, if you're in a very intense abusive situation, like Lord knows I have been on the receiving end of that, and it is frightful. So I give you so much strength and courage to just recognize where you are and just take the next step. Just take the next step. So, I'm not encouraging people just to run away because, unless some people you do need to just leave. But every situation is different. And I just encourage you to first just recognize how much it's hurting you, so put it to bed. They're saying like, it is just a good time. I do think for any of you guys who are leaving this, there's a settlement for you, a good one, in terms of money. So take the money and run. I mean, honestly, as awful as that might sound, because otherwise you're just in hangman mode. You're just hanging there. So you've been hanging in there for a really long time. And I'm feeling, at least with this message today, that it's time to make a move, to start to move on. 1,000%. Otherwise you're just hanging in, you're hanging in there. And I understand, like, it's healing, it is healing, but I just think that there's, I don't know. I just see you on the other side of it being so much happier. Okay. And more fulfilled. And like, you can finally do the things that you want to do. It's for you and like your own abundance and for other people to, God, enjoy in that. It's a really good thing. Like the old way just is not working. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many. Ugh, you know what? I'm going to pull these cards. I don't even like this anymore. Like, the energy is just so foul. Yeah, that Emperor. So someone is controlling a situation and it's time to go. Okay. I'm just getting really annoyed and angry because I feel like, snap your fingers, right? Wave your magic wand and be off with you. All right. I'm going to keep going for a little bit more. It's been 40 minutes, but I can't end on that note. So give me a chance to reset my energy here and have a cup of coffee or a sip at least. So, so I hope you guys are doing good, man. This new format, thank you for bearing with me while I figure out YouTube, Instagram. Hopefully this goes up. I'm just shooting this with myself right now. So hopefully this makes it up on Instagram and it's helpful for you. I'm going to just kind of see what else is here. Really quick, I'm going to pull a Wisdom of the Oracle. This is an Oracle deck, which is slightly different than a tarot deck, but we get into all of that in my training. Breathe, yes. Always a good reminder to breathe. The simple things. Yeah. Never-ending story. So this is, again, something you guys are working on, releasing the story, like a victim thing or poor me thing. And, I think you're kind of, it's like the wheels of that are going to start to fall off, like you're going to eventually tire of thinking about it too much. So just let it, some of you guys, it's around work. Oh my God, look at the Lion card. This is interesting. This is an animal spirit card, as you guys know, because I use this deck all the time. That was snuck in here in my Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And I did use these decks the other day for a reading, but it looks like the lion just kind of swooped in there. So that's a really powerful message of being protected, of being guided, of being like, the lion is just like very much works on behalf of the tribe, is protective, is like a visionary, right? I love this energy. So you're protected. For any of you guys who are doing something, like you've got it, like call in that energy. If those of you guys are afraid of something, call in the lion energy to help guide you and protect you. I also feel like this could be a masculine energy that's watching. That's like really, you're stepping into a much stronger position for yourself. The lion is the ruler. So it's very good for you guys to step into a leadership position right now. Any of you guys who have an opportunity, I will repeat this, to step into a leadership opportunity. This is absolutely the right thing to do. Don't question your ability to do so. You lead with strength and such dignity, so much pride, so much like good. This is like a good guy. You know what I mean? This is the guy you want to trust. If any of you guys are getting involved with someone or hiring someone, and that, like, the line is a masculine energy, it just is, and it's a male, like, oh man, wow, you got a good one, because this man is just very, very, he could be a little intense, you know what I'm saying? Like, if women watching this, or if you're a guy watching it, like, there's an intensity, there's no question, you know, and it's powerful, and a lion hunts, you know, and they get what they want, and it requires it requires a 9 of Pentacles, basically. Actually, for some of you guys who are actually going on the independent route and you're really striking out on your own, you could come across a lion that's just like, boom, you know, like it could be a great partnership. It could be just a perfect alliance. So be open to that. I'm also feeling, because today I woke up to hear that Robert Redford passed away. Oh, and the lion is here, and, you know, from out of Africa, the lion, Robert Redford. Oh, what a legend. This is like this person, yeah, like that guy, you know, like you can't really fuck with Robert Redford. Okay. I mean, the guy's an icon, and he's done so much for the film industry, and he seems like he was so well respected amongst his peers, and he was so, like, God, an incredible actor, just a cool guy, so creative, freaking Sundance. I mean, all of it. So, you know, like, call upon him, you know, I mean, he's now, you know, available to all of us in spirit. And I think that's really cool. So I do like this. They're saying creative control. For those of you guys who are negotiating something, get creative control. For those of you guys who are creating a body of work, you know, get that under your belt in terms of, like, you know, for writers and getting like publishing credit or getting a patent or getting some kind of a trademark, feels really good right now. It is okay. Time. Someone needs to take a nap from their work. Some of you guys need to, and this is actually part of the lion, is like the lion doesn't get down in there and deal with all the hyenas and stuff. He's up at a higher level, looking out, very much like the Lion King, right? Looking out over the land. So some of you guys, the best thing for you to do is just take a step back, take a nap from chopping wood, okay? And you need to step back and like take a break, go on vacation, do something, stop doing the same old thing, okay? Take a break, and then you can see where you're going, okay? Then you can kind of understand the lay of the land a little bit better, okay? So do your best to kind of, you might have to go kind of against the grain of conventional thinking. Definitely, you're going to have to be creative. That's why they're like something creative, like it's like there could be just an old, outdated system that you're just tired of it. You're like, I'm so sick of doing this thing over and over and over, or it's kind of something that's just dying out anyways. It could be an industry, it could be a business, it could be a company, it could be a marriage, it could be something that you've been worked really hard on, you know, and put a lot into. It's time to take a break. So maybe, you know, for some of you guys, it's just about going and going to Europe for 6 months, or going somewhere for 3 weeks, or just separation, trial separation, they're saying, because you need to man up. You know, some of you guys, if you're a man watching this, you've been around a female who's been emasculating or has not let you kind of really be your big true self, and you've really proud of what you've created. Maybe you have a family or something, but you need to be your own man again, they're saying. And that's okay. You know, you're allowed to. That the thing is that you're doing it to feed your family. You're doing it for the benefit of the group, you know? So your efforts and your intentions aren't inherently selfish, but you're the one that's the power to do it. So you kind of have to, you know what I mean? It's not like some of you guys could be getting voted into something, or you could be promoted or given an opportunity, and you're like, it just kind of comes, and you're like, do I really want to do this? Like, do I really want to take that on? And the answer is just to be flexible. Okay. Flexibility is good right now. Just give it some time. Don't be too harsh and rigid about anything right now. That's part of what needs to go away is this rigidity, right? They want you to kind of see things in a little bit more of a flexible term right now. It's not black and white. It's not yes or no. It's just time to kind of like give and take a little bit. Okay. So this is a really good time to negotiate, actually, for those of you who are exiting a situation. Be flexible. Like, even if you're asking for a lot of money, it's ask for the money, but be flexible on other things. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be an asshole about it. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be this like, I want $10 million because I'm no. You can just be cool like that. This is what I'm worth. The cooler you are, the more flexible you are, the more understanding you are in terms of like just compromise, but not in a way you get what you want. Ultimately, you get what you want, but maybe you can be a little bit more flexible on something else, you know, like try not to be too rigid about things right now. Okay. I think that's going to serve you, and allow this, you know, kind of transition to kind of take place. And the more you can be flexible, the more you can, you know, go with the flow, the better off you're going to be. Okay. Way better off. Okay. So, all right, y'all, I'm going to wrap it up here and see if there's any last messages. I hope you guys have a really great week. Thank you for being flexible with me as I navigate. But I like this. I think this was good today, you know? So hopefully I'll just keep posting videos like this for you all. And yeah, Treasure Island. Ding, 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 ding. Money, money, money. I love it. And change. Okay, I couldn't have said it better. You're making a change and it's bringing more money. Okay. So I don't know how else. I mean, that's like the perfect way to sum up what I spent an hour trying to say. So make a change, get the money, and you know, you're heading into such better territory. I mean, it's just going to be a little bit of a migration going on, but you're ready. Think about your emotional well-being. Okay. Just let that be your guide. Okay. Your emotional well-being. That's going to actually what makes you money too. So anyways, thanks for being here, you all, today. I hope you have a great week ahead, and I will see you again real soon. Bye.